All right, hi, I'm Niki Johnson, and I'm an artist, educator, and organizer living in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Let's see, where is the, let's see, view slideshow. All right, okay. So what I'm covering today is why I see internship as an essential part of higher education. I'll be covering how volunteering and apprenticing outside of the academic institution fostered my own vision in becoming a professional artist, and then talk about a special approach I have taken to facilitating an internship that has had an 80% student return rate every semester and has allowed me to work with 17 students from the Milwaukee Institute of Art and Design in the past year. Lastly, I'll discuss what I see as the best role for institutions in internship, which will hopefully inspire dialogue that we can continue during the course of this conference. All right, so currently, I'm the Pfister Hotel's Artist in Residence. It's a year-long program in which my studio is housed within Milwaukee's ritziest hotel. It's a bit of a fishbowl. Patrons come in while we're making, and so everybody who works in this space has to be able to shift between maker mindset and being able to articulate concepts as well as talk about kind of the technical parameters of what we're doing. I'm their first sculptor, and in the space, we've been casting large-scale silicone molds, plaster molds, casting glass and porcelain. Yes, they moved my kiln to the 6th floor of the parking garage. And then press molding clay, latch hooking, and embroidering condoms, most recently for an upcoming exhibition benefiting people living with HIV/AIDS that I'm running. Keep your eyes peeled. There will be a lot more about that coming up. I'm also running 3 national exhibitions, the condom show being one of them. It's called Preservatif. Producing my own PR, as most professional artists do, and creating more opportunities on the horizon while running a team of 11 interns this fall. So all in all, my group is putting in 130 hours in the studio every week. So I'm going to start with the beginning of how did I get here? And I'm starting this way because I really identify with my interns and kind of their plight as young artists learning how to become within this world. So, well, to start off, I've always been a round peg in a square hole when it's come to school. And I graduated in 2.5 years from high school and then went directly to college. I gravitated towards the fields that encouraged creative problem solving and self-expression, probably from watching my parents try to balance the checkbook every month. And I worked full-time to afford, bless you, I worked full-time to afford school and an apartment, and in about 3 years into my bachelor's degree, I felt pretty disenchanted with the reality of being able to afford my dream of being an artist, as there were no professional practices classes at that time, and so I dropped out and I moved to San Francisco. It was there that my learning became self-guided, and I began to apprentice, first at a costume jewelry company, and then a titanium bike manufacturer, learning how to use CNC mills, to an auction house. And I was unwittingly or unknowingly scooping up both practical and technical information that pertained to running a small business. At 27, I returned to school, a seasoned waitress with savings, determined to complete my BFA. At the University of Memphis, I was given opportunities to volunteer for visiting artists, as they did not have an internship program either. But on site, I demonstrated my best skill sets, much like during my time apprenticing on the West Coast. It was in Memphis that I realized that being an artist was the job I wanted, that it could be an ideal job. Skip forward 8 years, and I have an MA, MFA, a burgeoning art career, and more opportunities than I can reasonably handle on my own. A colleague of mine at MIAD had been, where I'd been teaching a class, recommended that I get an intern. I didn't know this was a possibility, and little did I know that this conversation was going to change the paradigm of my professional practice. With a multitude of projects on the horizon this spring, I knew I needed at least 5 interns. At MIAD, 3 credits translates to 90 hours of service per student. It was during the interview process that I saw opportunity for creating a group dynamic by involving more interns from a wider array of areas of study. I asked Dwayne, who's run the intern program at MIAD for the last 20 years, if this would work, and he said yes. He said yes. I accepted 10 applicants, knowing that I could play to each of their strengths, and that the variety of talents, oops, am I ahead of myself? I am, sorry. The variety of talents in the group would lend itself to having more of a team dynamic. I separated the friends on the shifts to foster new connections, praised them when they did tasks well, and praised them just as much when they could locate someone else in the team that might do it better. Half of this original group is working with me yet, and now train new interns. Two have gained jobs in the art field in the community, and 2 have curated one of my exhibitions in the Southwest. So, okay, there we go. So here's an outline of how my internship works. An essential key to starting a productive internship is through an interview, a thorough interview. Have a clearly outlined calendar to share with your interviewee from the get-go, and also have a personal contract outlining the expectations you have about performance and conduct that goes beyond the standard form that the schools produce. The other thing that I've developed is something called monthly Sundays. Once every 3 to 4 weeks, we meet from 5 to 8 p.m. at the studio. I cook when the studio is at my house. Once at the Pfister cooks, which is pretty great. Sometimes I give a presentation about a topic, or we have guest speakers, or they have to present work to a group. As it is that we work together in a professional environment, professional practices are what we focus on. Projects I've developed include Reveal Your Superpower. Each intern talks about what they're best at, what they want to learn more about, and where they struggle. And this is an excellent conversation to continue bringing up throughout the course of the semester because those things change. Meet Your Online Avatar is where we creep each other, that's what they call it. And we go online, Google search ourselves, we go through social media, you name it. If it's out there, somebody in the group's going to find it. The group then discusses how they want to be perceived versus how they are performing themselves online, and then they're given 3 weeks to clean it up. At this time, they're also given the assignment of creating a website and a business card. The next talk that we've had is exhibitions and exhibition spaces, and this is where I kind of talk from my history, and then also they can add in about what these opportunities look like from a curator versus an artist perspective, what to expect, and how to maneuver them all. To speak and to be heard, which is what this image that you see is illustrating. This was a project where I videotaped the students in 3 30-second segments. The first one where they discussed their biography, the second where they discussed their one piece, and then the last one was where they would discuss a series that they had recently made. And we went through as a group the following Sunday and critiqued everybody, and then we started reshooting all of the interviews again. The second Sunday we got together and we had Linda Marcus, who is a former TV newscaster, and Kat Murrell, who's a local art historian who also does video clips about local art happenings in town, come and critique the students and give them feedback on how it was that they behaved in front of the camera. Well, why do this? I think we're all familiar with YouTube, right? And about the whole idea of the websites needing to become more interactive so that people pay attention and listen. What was the feedback from my interns, which has been really great, has to do with this kind of debate between the written and the spoken, and how even just by going through this, they feel like they're more effectively communicating about their work with people in kind of short spurts. Packaging and presence, that's where we just kind of review all of the printed material and online material that they've created to see if they're happier with their professional presence, and then seeing where they want to go to from there. And I work with them one-on-one to help them reach the goals, because they all have different goals that they want to achieve. The where, when, and why of grad school. Usually do this a few weeks before graduation, and it's a Q&A. Most people go and talk to their advisors, and I don't know, most of the seniors I talk to are not real pleased, honestly, about what they get from their advisors about grad school, and it's usually a place where we just kind of sit down, and I cover a talk I gave at AICAD in 2013 about why you should go on a road trip before you apply, and then we discuss their questions and concerns. So, skip that one. Okay, I'm going to go back to the other one in just a second. So, should an institution create a curriculum for internships that businesses should follow? That was one of the questions that I was given. I don't think so. I don't. Actually, I'll say no, because placing too many curricular or pedagogical learning outcomes into the internship acts like a cataract, which can cloud the reality of the professional exposure that students seek and want. Many classroom experiences afford a great deal of learning for students. However, students want and expect internships not only to complement their class experiences, but to help realize if their goals match their values, interests, and skills. The internship is a lens into potential future. The best intern mentors I've talked to appreciate and respect that interns are discovering, exploring, and affirming their career interests while on site. Also, learning isn't always easy or fun. Resistance is an important indicator into how we want our lives to shape up, and I'm sure everybody in this room can reflect upon how hard times or difficulties have helped us become who we are now, including how to make different choices. So more oversight, in my opinion, from an institution wouldn't necessarily be helpful. Sometimes struggling in an internship can be a good thing. So, so then what is my suggestion? I encourage all of you to have a thriving internship program if you don't already. I've noticed a number of AICAD institutions do, and that is just wonderful. I wish I had been part of your programs back then. To support active artists and businesses in creating dynamic internships for your students and reward those who do stand out. Thank you, MyEd, for sending me. Thank you. The reward, right? How cool. I encourage the directors of internship programs to keep an open ear and a light hand. I also think that MyEd has created a great model, and if you're reevaluating your own, check theirs out. I think it's really good. Thank you again for your time, and thank you, David Martin, for encouraging me to submit a proposal, and to the Board of AICAD for accepting it. I've really enjoyed meeting this community, and I look forward to learning more from each of you.